Hello, and welcome to another episode of TUPCAST, the Untitled Podcasters podcast, where we talk about movies and get heavily off topic while doing so. My name is Andrew. I am the sexiest man alive. I am so sexy you can't see my face. I am one of your hosts. Alongside me are my other hosts, Steve.
Yo, yo.
And Colby.
What's up?
And in today's episode, if you're listening on Spotify, I don't have my camera on, so that's why you can't see me. If you're watching on YouTube, you're missing out. In today's episode, we are going to be reviewing the movie Alien as part of our greatest of all time film list, which is a bunch of movies that we have not seen that are held in high praise, and seeing if they stand the test of time.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And as a reminder, we did Taxi Driver already. That was our first movie.
So we've done an episode where we go through a bunch of movies, we figure out what we haven't seen, and then we narrow it down. I have the list up here. So our rewatch order that we're doing, we already did our Taxi Driver episode, which you can find. Right now we're doing Alien. And right after this is going to be The Thing.
Nice.
Yes. I'll go through now. Followed by Groundhog Day, Schindler's List, The Pianist, Old Boy, and Once Upon a Time in the West.
Nice.
I think I still stand by. I think that's a pretty solid list.
I wouldn't know, so I know nothing about any of them. So
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Well, that was the thing. I think none of us have seen those movies, but just from like the context that I have of those movies, I think it sounds pretty solid.
Yeah.
Cool.
Also, I just realized, for any visual watchers, what you're seeing is not a glitch. My tongue is blue. I drank a blue lemonade.
Thought you were gonna say Steve got a haircut.
I did get a haircut.
He did also get a haircut, yes.
Just all three of us got something going on today.
It was time.
Yeah.
Who wants to start off with their thoughts?
Aliens.
Are we going Alien first or things we've seen recently?
We should do things we've seen. Yeah.
Why don't you run through yours, Andrew, since we can't see you?
Well,
have you seen anything recently?
Yes.
Besides Alien.
You.
You can't see me staring into the abyss.
Well,
last night I went and saw A Complete Unknown.
Nice.
And it was really good.
I haven't seen it yet. I want to, though.
I highly recommend it, even if you're not like a folk music guy. It was very good. They had Edward Norton playing Pete Seeger in it, and he sounded just like him. Like, it was uncanny. But down Timothée Chalamet, he did a really good job in that one. I would see it again in a heartbeat if I got the chance to.
I think it got nominated for Best Picture too, right?
It did, yeah. Going into it, you wouldn't expect a Bob Dylan biopic to get that.
Yeah. From what I hear, they go like untraditional in the sense that they play like entire songs, like cover to cover, right?
So a lot of when they're singing, it's him singing like on a stage, and they don't get into the part of his life where drugs ruined him.
Yeah.
Which I kind of like that, because usually when I'm watching biopics, I'm like, I know how this ends and it's not good, and I'm just staring at them feeling like, what the fuck are you doing? You're going to ruin your life.
Yeah.
Which, they smoked in this one, but it wasn't a whole lot of that stuff. They ended it, I think, in like 1965, so even like before this was right when Bob Dylan switched from like folk to rock folk.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But it was, again, very good.
Nice. It's on my list. I just didn't get a chance yet.
Yeah, other things that I've seen, I haven't watched too many movies. I've been watching a whole lot of Law and Order SVU.
Nice.
That's a great show.
Cleanses the palate at night.
Mm-hmm.
After a tough day at the office.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll think of more stuff while you guys share what you've talked
I'll give
about.
it some of mine. I watched Juror number 2. Has anybody watched that?
No, but I really want to.
That's like a Clint Eastwood.
Cassie's been like talking about that so much.
Courtroom drama. Has she seen it?
Yeah.
I like that one. It's Clint Eastwood. I think it's on Max. If you get that, you can watch it.
Yeah.
For free.
That or Paramount, one of them.
It's a really good procedural. You kind of know the premise like 20 minutes in, and then you're like, how is it going to play out? more so than like what's the twist,
Yeah.
because it's kind of like they give you the twist like right up front.
Yeah, so what I've heard from that one is that it's a film you can talk about after you
Yeah,
watch it.
it so it had like a weird theater release where it was in like
Mhm.
16 theaters and then it
Yeah, I
just
saw
like went
that.
to streaming. But it's definitely one of those movies that if it got like a better release, like people would have conversations about it, because
Interesting.
it's more of like a moral dilemma type of movie, and you're like, what would you do kind of thing, so you could
Mhm.
have dialogue around it. And like the acting performances were pretty good, and you know, it's a lot of good actors doing simple things, and Clint Eastwood directing kind of like a straightforward movie.
Mhm.
But you're just like, what's the moral conundrum here? What would I have done? How would I have proceeded? You know, it's just
Yeah.
simple, basic, but it's good. I enjoyed it.
When I
Oh,
heard it originally, that it was called like just a film called Juror Number Two. I thought it would be like focusing on one of the jurors of 12 Angry Men. I don't know if either of you read that or
yeah,
seen that movie.
I've read and seen it.
It was a great. I love that story.
yeah. There's a lot of
So I thought it
complexity
was
to it.
like doing that, but I'm kind of happy in the sense that it isn't something original.
Yeah, I
They're
like a
not
good
getting too much of
procedural
that.
too if it's done well.
Yes, yeah. And as
Oh,
I've been saying, like Law and Order has been my pick lately, so that's definitely one that I want to watch.
makes sense. Did anybody see Nosferatu?
No,
No, it was awesome.
no.
I
I've heard great things about that one.
I really enjoyed it. Robert Eggers is the director. He directs like
Uh-huh.
really weird, stylized movies. He only
Yeah.
has 4, I think. I think this is his 4th movie, but he did The Northman. I think was his last one, which I really liked, which was Alexander Skarsgård
Mm-hmm.
as the main lead, and in this one, Bill Skarsgård plays like the title character of Nosferatu. Nicholas Holt's in it too, who is also in Juror Number 2. It's kind of having a run right now, I guess. But
What was the guy's name?
Nicholas Holt,
It Holt.
he plays Juror Number 2, and then he also is like a main character in Nosferatu.
Hmm.
But it was just really good, really like creepy, really dark horror. Willem Dafoe shows up in the middle of it and just like steals the show, which is always awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like you're like hanging out in like this, was it in this period piece? Like you're kind of just hanging out with the movie for a while. It's not like a high concept movie either, but it's just a love story set with vampires. But
That's sometimes you need that.
yeah, it's just just better than Twilight in all way, shape, and form. Just dark and really cool shots, like really cool. Yeah, that's like the SpongeBob.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's what everybody knows Feratu from.
That's all I know him for.
But I just enjoyed it. All the performances are really good. It's got some good jump scares, and I'm not like a jump scare guy, but like they were like good and enjoyable and made sense.
I'll have a good time with it then.
Aaron Taylor Johnson's in it as well. Coming off that
Craven
success.
Hunter. Yeah.
He was fine in it. Everyone's really good in it. So it's definitely long though. I brought Kate to it. She hated every second of it. So that's always a good time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cassie saw it. She had mixed feelings.
Yeah. It's long, it's dark, it's slow, but like it's told well and it looks great, and like you said, you're just hanging out in like a period piece. So if that's not like your vibe, and then it doesn't work for you, but like I enjoyed what it looked like and like the horror of it all. So
Yeah.
what else do I got? I saw 28 Weeks Later, which came out like 20 years ago, but it's the follow up to 28 Days Later. And then we're getting 28 years later this summer. So I
have never seen any of them.
Well, I had never seen 28 Days Later, which is like a young Cillian Murphy. So I rented that one and really enjoyed it. It's like it kind of like revolutionized zombies and made them fast. So they're like fast moving zombies because they have a virus called the Rage virus. So they're like fast and aggressive instead of slow and eating brains.
Oh.
I
Um,
think the fast and aggressive zombies is definitely the way to go.
Oh,
More
yeah.
often than not. I think the slow eating brain ones, which I think might be like one of the reasons I can't get into The Walking Dead. I think the zombies are just so uninteresting.
yeah, you
But
should
when
never
they're
get.
fast,
Yeah,
they're scary.
yeah. You should never nobody should die in The Walking Dead. Like,
No,
No,
absolutely not.
there's no reason why you should get attacked by a
but
zombie.
like when you look at like World War Z zombies, I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, no, just kill me.
Yeah,
I don't want to be a part of this.
so that's what the first one is. The first one is that this virus of fast moving zombies breaks out in London. So then the whole island of like England is basically a dead zone. But they lose communication with the outside world, and in the second one you find out that it's isolated to England. It's not like America doesn't have it. Like it's just, but
I think
then
that's part of The Walking Dead too. Like at one point they realized it's not a global sensation.
yeah, which is who knows.
Yeah.
I thought it was good.
Cool.
The plot of the second one is kind of that the virus has died out because if the zombies don't have anything to eat, which is other people, they die instead of just like living forever. So eventually, like everyone, all the zombies are supposed to be dead. So then they start like bringing back certain quarantine zones, but then obviously they find somebody who has a mutated version of the rage virus, and then someone gets bit, and it spreads very quickly.
Yep.
So it's essential. Also, Jeremy Renner's in it, and he's like really good in it. He's just like the American in this movie that doesn't make sense that he's there, but he is.
Gotcha.
I had fun with it, and
Cool.
now I'm really excited for the third one.
Yeah.
The trailer is
so
awesome.
yeah, it is. I've seen that one a couple times. I was gonna say, just so listeners know, our next episode we're gonna do, which we might reference a few times during this one, is gonna be our predictions of the films we think are gonna be the best for 2025, and I can tell you that is somewhere on my list.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
What else have I watched? I watched A Real Pain, which was Jesse Eisenberg's movie that he directed this year with Kieran Culkin.
I'm not familiar with that. Oh, yeah. Now that you say his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he got nominated, I think, for Best Actor. But it's like a 90-minute hangout movie. Like they're cousins,
Okay.
and they go to Poland because their grandmother is from Poland and she passed away. So they're like going back to her
R.I.P.
home country to do like a tour of Poland to know where she grew up. But
Yeah.
they're like cousins that were like brothers when they were younger, and then they disconnected. So now they're like connecting again. But it's more just a hangout movie, and it's like funny, and it's 90 minutes. It was good.
Those are nice.
I think people like it because it's simple and the acting is really good.
Straight to the point.
Yeah,
I appreciate those in and out movies.
Yeah. Not a huge plot. Like they go to Poland because their grandmother died and they want to see where she grew up, and it's
that's a nice premise to it.
Right. Yeah, and it's just like funny. It's called A Real Pain because Kieran Culkin's kind of a pain in the ass. Like that's really it. But like
I see.
And Jesse Eisenberg is like the button up, has a wife and daughter or son at home and has the big job, and he's like the low life.
Yep.
Smokes pot, like has fun. So they're just reconnecting. It's like a fun 90-minute hangout movie that I'll never watch again, but it was solid. So.
All right. Colby, have you seen anything this year? It is the 26th day of January as of recording this.
All right. So, some boots with this. As of January 26th, 2025, I have seen 0 new movies since our last episode.
Wow.
However.
Well, to be fair, there's nothing in theaters, really.
I was going to say, there has
except
not
for a
been
complete
much,
unknown.
There has not been much that has attracted me to the theaters. I have rewatched, so TV shows. I think, as we know, I'm not a huge show person. I have started watching a new show since our last episode.
Oh, yeah.
And that would be Glee.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. So,
It's a great show.
There's actually a story behind how we started watching it. Me and Cassie were watching Bob's Burgers, okay? And this random episode where the kids in Bob's Burgers, Gene and Louise,
I know where you're going with
decide
this.
to dress up as these like they were like a sea pickle or something, and they were gonna fight in a ring. And the judge happened to be one of the voices of one of the actors in Glee. And Cassie picked it out immediately, and she was like, "Oh, just watch this first episode. Just see who it is." I was like, "Oh, I don't need to see it." I was like, "I already know what it is or whatever." And we watched it, and I was like, "Okay, I'm kind of into this." Now, I've watched the first full season, first one, and I'm like 10 episodes into season 2. And I'm not the biggest musical person, as we know.
Yep.
And I have to say the song parts are my least favorite parts of that show. They are incredibly cringy.
Oh yeah.
Especially where 90% of the time when they're singing, you can most certainly tell that they're not singing.
Oh, absolutely not.
It might be your voice, but you did that in a 4x4 recording booth because it was not during the scene. A lot of it's pretty cringy, actually. Yeah, a lot of it. However, there are certain characters like Sue, which is the cheerleading coach. My favorite character of all time.
She's awesome.
I think she might be up there.
Jane Lynch plays her.
She is so funny. She has like the most wild one-liners ever.
They don't stop. That goes throughout the whole series.
It's getting better. Yeah. It's fantastic. I will watch this show all the way through just for Jane. I don't care about anything else. But that's like the only new thing I've watched. Cassie has not seen a lot of the Christopher Nolan movies, with the exception of like Oppenheimer and Dunkirk. I think those might be the only two that she has seen from start to finish.
Those are both good movies.
Yeah, fantastic.
I mean, anything Nolan is good, but yeah.
And so I mentioned like last week, I was like, oh, we should watch Interstellar because she's never seen it. And so we watched Interstellar, and I haven't seen it probably close to from when it came out. I think 2014, I think, is when it came out, somewhere around there. And so that's got, I think for both of us, that might be up there for one of our favorite movies. She loved that movie. And then right back to back, we watched Interstellar, and then we watched Inception right after, which she also really enjoyed. And I have not seen that in a long time. And watching it as an adult, I could appreciate it a little bit more. And she had never seen the Dark Knight trilogy, the Nolan Batman movies.
That's blasphemy.
Yeah, I know. I've been working on it for 6 years and finally got there. She's seen like a lot of the clips from like the Joker and the Dark Knight. Like she's familiar with a lot of it. But I had her we watched Batman Begins yesterday, and we're about halfway through the Dark Knight as of recording this. So we're hoping we'll finish the other half of that, and we'll watch the Dark Knight Rises afterwards. And maybe she'll have a better appreciation for those Batman movies.
Maybe she'll learn why we hate Robert Pattinson so much.
I was going to say, maybe see why some people don't like the new one that much.
Yeah.
Or the Joker movie.
Or Ben Affleck.
Yeah, well, we don't talk about him.
I just don't understand how that happened. How did Ben Affleck become Batman?
We don't know how half of those movies even happened.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. They had a great cast for the Justice League, with the exception of Ben Affleck. It was a pretty
solid cast. Gal
and they just went about
Wonder
it wrong.
Woman, Jason Momoa, Aquaman.
Like Henry Cavill was great as Superman.
Yeah, we'll ignore Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
But everybody else was pretty okay.
To avoid being canceled.
I don't even know what the actor's name is that played Cyborg.
No, but he was great, and I thought he had a promising future, which didn't happen.
It was like Ray something. It's terrible, but I know it's Ray.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I've watched.
Nice.
Cool. Which leads us to our goal for today's episode. Something all three of us have watched, actually, this time. If I'm not mistaken.
Didn't do the clip notes.
No, not this time. Is the movie Alien, as we said, which, I don't know, going into this movie, I didn't really know anything about it except it had a big franchise.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know that it was like Sigourney Weaver was in it. Like I just that was always one of those names that I always knew, but I could never place to where I knew it from. And so now I can see like where that's kind of what she's known for.
She was a big actor in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah. But I thoroughly enjoyed it very much. I have intentions to see the rest of the movies in the franchise. I just haven't gotten around to doing that.
Some of us did do extra homework. Some of us did extra homework more than other people.
Extra credit.
I'm not going to name names or point fingers, but
It wasn't me.
I'm not going to point at any blank screens.
Yeah.
some no camera screens.
So, just to bring some background on it, so this came out in 1979, directed by Ridley Scott, starring Sigourney Weaver, Tom Skerritt, and John Hurt. I had the opportunity to see this on the big screen 2 days ago.
In 1979. Is that
That's where I thought he was going with that.
Our like local theater that normally does like actual theatrical performances, not necessarily film, does like a monthly classic basically.
Sure.
And this month they picked Alien. Like
That's pretty lucky.
Yeah, that's like the convenience of that.
Yeah, honestly, that.
And it's not like an anniversary or not. Like it's
just random.
Like, we're gonna play Alien. So I dragged Kate on Friday night to go see it at this theater. It probably
Had Kate ever seen it?
She had seen it, yeah, and she liked it, so she was happy to go. It wasn't like you must go, so I don't go by myself. No, like she wanted to go, but she remembers seeing it like in college, like a long time ago, so she was not up to date with it necessarily. There was probably 120 seats, and there was probably like 10 empty seats. Like
really,
it was packed, and I was impressed.
That's awesome.
Which was great because in the middle of the movie, when what's his name, Texas, whatever his name was. I'm terrible with names in movies. I just can't remember them.
I know.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
When he's in the ventilation shaft and there's that jump scare with the actual alien.
Yeah.
Like 45 grown adults like jumped out of their seats.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I would assume everybody in there, maybe a few people had never seen it, but it seemed like everyone was there to see it on a big screen with people.
Yeah.
And they all jumped. It was hysterical. Kate jumped. I knew it was coming, so I was ready for it.
You were waiting to see how other people react, weren't you?
But it was very cool. I mean, I was so to start. I guess I really do like the movie.
I just wanted to go back to that one point real quick.
Yeah,
the jump scare that you're referring to is because I wrote down a scene. Is that the scene where the alien comes out and it does jazz hands?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he literally like goes like that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure that you were talking about the same scene because I wrote that down as I laughed so hard at that scene when I don't think I was supposed to. He jumped out and literally did.
Yeah. But it goes from like complete dark to just seeing the alien. And like I think one of the greatest parts of the movie is that the alien has like 2 minutes of screen time. Like you never see this thing.
It's more suspense than horror.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's there, and like in the second half of the movie, after it's like shed its skin, and they see that it's like the size of a human or like bigger than a human. It's just there, but you never see it. It's that part of it is the worst part of it. Like imagine being on that ship, knowing that thing is lurking somewhere, and it's black, and like it can when she goes on the escape pod at the end, and you don't like it's there, it's present, you can see it if you're looking for it, but you don't see it if you've never seen the movie. And then all of a sudden it just like shoots its hand out, and you're like, holy shit! Like it was in the pipes, like hiding. It was crazy. But
very good, very good.
That's the part of it that I like, is that it's like Jaws. Like you see the shark in Jaws for like 7 minutes.
It's the suspense of just knowing that it's there, but
exactly.
But you don't know where.
Yeah, but
it's lurking.
Yeah, that's what. And for 45 minutes, it's just a ship
Yes.
and people. And
It
like
takes a long time to
you
get to
get
that
like
point.
some character development, and like you kind of know what everyone's gig is on the ship, but like you don't know where they're going or what they're from. And yeah, there's just so much to it that I really enjoy.
It's a pretty normal movie up until
Yeah, honestly.
the horror aspect of it.
And like that slow camera roll through the hallways when it's just like dark and quiet. It's just so cool, so simple. But like they don't do that anymore. Everything is like cut and quick and let's pace.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's do that slow crawl that's like way creepier, and like you're engaged. You feel like you're part of it more when it's like fast cut and like you're like, I'm not present here. Like there's no way I'm here. So that's the stuff I like. And obviously the alien looks badass.
Yeah, it does.
So I guess yeah, so when we first made this list and put Alien on the list of things to watch, I had no context other than I saw I think I saw the second Alien versus Predator movie when I was a kid, but that was literally it for context of Alien.
Yeah.
And like I'm familiar with all the pop culture references and stuff like that. But after we made this list a while back, it was a long time ago we put this list together. I had seen Alien Romulus.
Yeah.
Which was my first introduction to the Alien franchise, like proper introduction.
As was I.
And yeah, I was gonna say Steve saw that movie, I'm pretty sure, and it's a really good movie.
Yeah.
And so it draws a lot of parallels to this one. So when I was watching this one, and when I went to see Alien Romulus, it wasn't until after I saw it that I learned that it was like the direct sequel almost. It's like an intermediate movie between Alien and Aliens. So watching this one, it kind of, you can see the parallels between them. It's almost like it was I don't want to call it like a soft reboot, but it's like they were just taking the original Alien movie and making it for a modern generation of people.
Yeah.
Like
it's all like teenagers basically.
Yeah, it's a bunch of teenagers and it's very similar. It's very slow to start off. It doesn't like start picking up until like halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
So it's very similar. However, I didn't want that to skew my judgment on the original one, so I went into the first Alien movie with as much of an open mind as I could. And I ended up enjoying it more than I thought I would. I was fearful for it feeling very dated, with like CGI and practical effects or whatever. I was very fearful that you'd be like, oh, this didn't really age that well. Especially with horror movies don't necessarily have the greatest repetition from the 80s and stuff. So I was like, oh, this is like the very tip of when those movies started coming out. So it might be real cheesy.
Yeah.
And not in the good ways.
Right.
But I think it's safe to say that it's not that at all. I think that this movie holds up phenomenally. The practical effects, I think the alien puppet that the guy, like the suit that the guy was in, it looks really good. And I think it helps that they didn't show it that much, because I think the more they would have showed it or the more lighting it was in, the more it would have started to unravel the scariness of it.
Yeah.
Because if you saw too much of it, you would have been like, oh, well, that's a guy in a suit. You'd be able to know.
Yeah.
So I think the suspense over horror made that movie better than what it was. Because I was going into it expecting it to just be, oh, it's just a horror movie. This alien's going to roam around and just kill a bunch of people, and that's going to be it.
Yeah.
But it was a lot more suspenseful. You were like, oh, well, I know it's somewhere here, and people are getting picked off one by one.
Yeah.
And, I mean, some people might not like that, but I think this definitely worked very well for this movie. I think a lot of the designs were original, as far as I know. A lot of these designs were original. I think the alien actual, like, the costume was it's so unique. Like it's just, it's almost like a mix between like a spider and a scorpion type of thing. Like it's just
like a
freaky.
cockroach and a
and like it is very unique, and like the actual like chemistry of what makes up the alien is wild. It has acid for blood and stuff. Like, so you can kill it, but if it bleeds all over the floor, it might go through the ship, and then we might all die anyways.
Yeah, he gets
So it's
sucked
like-
out into space.
Yeah, so it's like, well, this thing's killing us, and we have to kill it, but we can't kill it.
Yeah.
So like, what do we
Right.
do?
Right.
I think that was very unique, different perspective on how to take down the monster in the monster movie.
Yeah.
I had written down a few notes as I watched it. Some of them don't make sense to me anymore, but I'm gonna read them anyways because you guys will
I
probably
have
be able
some
to.
too. I want to read
You
after.
You will probably be able to put them into perspective more than I can. The ones that I do understand though, the guy turning out to be an android,
Yep.
didn't see that coming.
Yeah,
That
that's a
took
good
me by a shock. I was not. Yeah,
I
that.
wouldn't have seen that coming if I hadn't seen Alien Romulus prior.
one. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, see, me having been blind to all of them, I think maybe worked to my advantage here. But I was like shocked at that part.
Yeah.
I also said that every time it showed the spaceship like from space, I just kept thinking it looked like the Star Destroyer.
Yeah, it
Oh.
the way it like
Just
came
same
out of the
structure.
shadows and
It's
stuff.
very
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, Star Wars was 2 years before, so
2 years
makes sense.
prior.
And then I said, there were times where this cat in this movie was watching everything like it had planned it.
Yeah.
I just thought that.
Yeah, the cat
That's
seemed pretty relatively unfazed.
I was like, this cat's too calm, and then the guy turned out to be a robot. I'm like, what if the cat's like an alien or something?
Well, that was
Um,
that was a big thing on the set, I guess. Like, or a big controversy. The people who love Alien, the one thing they hate is the cat. Like, it's like,
How?
why is there a cat? Like, where was it while everyone was? How did it survive while they were all in hypersleep and it's just hanging out?
Wouldn't the cat have been in hypersleep
Yeah, like,
theoretically
was
then?
it? But they
Right,
didn't, like,
that's what they
show
do with it
that.
at the end. Like,
And then the cat gets in the box, and Ripley just like throws the cat around. Like that cat would have been like scratching her eyes out. Like, I kind of
Yeah.
like the cat though.
I did. I
It
love
didn't
the
bother
cat.
me.
And then the last thing, this is the only one I wrote that doesn't make sense to me, is I I thought the cat man was walking under acid.
I thought the cat man?
Yes, that's what I wrote.
Like the guy.
I think this is when they first introduced the cat, and the first guy was just trying to find the cat to protect it. Like, I'm terrible with names, so I'm not even gonna
okay.
try.
Oh, the dude
And
who
you-
gets like. So he's like hanging out in a room that has like dangly chains and like water dripping.
Yes, yeah. So I thought the water dripping was acid.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people are like, why is there water dripping inside of a spaceship? Like, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, if this was like a space plant, like a spaceship built into the side of a cliff, like, you could see that, I guess. But yeah, a lot of people are like, why would there be water dripping inside of a
Yeah.
spaceship?
Low maintenance.
But it also is weird that like the blood is acid, but like the goo is not.
Yeah, that was something I was confused about because whenever like it would open its mouth and stuff and it would start like drooling or whatever,
Yeah.
I was like,
Mhm.
wouldn't that have some effect?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Either way, still badass that.
Still, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
The
absolutely.
bro's got a mouth inside his mouth. I mean, what's spookier than that?
And
Right.
he uses that mouth to like lunge and attack.
He's got
awesome.
the mouth is almost like its own little dude.
Yeah.
It's just a little dude inside the big
yeah,
dude.
exactly. It's like the Alaskan bullworm.
He's like, my face is too big to get you, but this guy's gonna get you.
Also, the dude has a organism they've never seen wrapped around his face for like 6 hours. And then
I know.
he wakes up and they're like, let's go have breakfast. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you wouldn't be like, you're
Yeah.
gonna stay in that room for like a week to make
Testing.
sure that nothing happens.
We're gonna freeze you.
Yeah, they're like, no, let's go have something to eat. And then most rewatchable scene or like best scene is obviously like the chest bursting face hugger situation. That is just.
I love how they call it
apparently-
a face hugger.
Apparently so they never call it a face hugger. People just called it that, so it became known as that. Like,
So
it's never
I
said in any of the movies.
before we started this, I went into ChatGPT and I said give a brief plot overview for the movie Alien, just to see if it would be worth like reading as we went through it. But it said that there. It said one of the crew members, Kane, is attacked by a creature, in parentheses, a face hugger, that attaches itself to its face. I'll read the rest. Despite efforts to try and remove it, the alien eventually detaches on its own, seemingly harmless. However, during a meal, a horrifying scream unfolds as a chestbuster alien violently emerges from his body, killing him.
The face huggers and the chest busters.
Yep. AI plot summaries are hilarious.
Apparently, when the chest bursting scene, the actors didn't know like what was actually going to happen. So like when they got covered in blood, like it was like genuine reactions because they had to.
That's awesome.
I love stuff like that in movies when actors like aren't aware.
They don't know what's about to happen.
Yeah, they want like genuine fear.
That's awesome.
I only had one note that I could find. I don't know where the rest of mine went, but I wrote down, and this is what I mentioned earlier. I wrote down funniest scene in Alien, and it just says when the guy with the flamethrower is going down the vent, and the alien pops out and does jazz hands.
Yep. Yeah.
That was the only part of the movie I was like, what am I watching?
Oh, that's awesome.
Literally, I think it made it look like it was trying to grab him, but it was like, ha.
Yeah, I think they should have probably. That was probably a let's do another take, but they were like, no, it's fine. It looks good.
Right.
We can manage.
Oh, that's awesome.
Also, that might be the weirdest underwear in movie history. At the very end, when she like changes, and it's like she's wearing like little boy's underwear, and you're like, "What is that?"
It was kind of weird.
Why are you doing that?
Yeah, that was strange.
Also, like, so I had known of Ellen Ripley as like a badass female character, essentially, but didn't know. I didn't think she was like super impressive in this one.
She wasn't.
She was like average. No. Like it's cool because she survives, and it's cool because she kills the alien. But
a lot of it was luck.
Yeah, a lot of it was like I'm just like staying furthest point away, or it's just like almost luck. And then at the very end, she's just smart enough to do the thing she needs to do to blow the alien, out into space.
Which, in hindsight, wasn't that impressive.
No. So when I finished watching it, I was like, Ellen Ripley's kind of cool. But I saw Aliens, the second one.
Yeah.
And I know you haven't yet, Andrew, no spoilers. But I understand why she's that cool now.
Yeah.
Because she's just a different character in the second
one. I'm happy you said that, because I was like, I mean, it was good. No hate to it in any way. But I was like, I feel like there was more of a hype around. Like you said, I've heard about the reputation of it, and I didn't see it in that movie. But that's good to know that it does come later.
Because like I know there are a certain group of people that just like love horror and sci-fi, and a lot of them will be like, well, Ellen Ripley's like the coolest character in any of those universes. And I watched the first one and I just didn't get it. I was like, she's cool, but like it's one alien, and she basically just ran around frantic for an entire movie, which was cool. Don't get me wrong, but she didn't like burn it. She didn't shoot at it. Like she basically abandoned it to blow up, and then just luckily got onto her ship that she was abandoning it on. And then again, she was just smart enough to understand that she can like blow it out into space. But yeah, so definitely watch Aliens when you get a chance, Andrew, because that's where I do. Like the legend of Ellen Ripley really like lies in Aliens and not Alien.
Good to know.
But it was good. Alien was good enough to make me watch Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, and I'm continuing. So.
Did we just lose Colby?
Yeah, I think he farted, and now we lost him.
It says it's still recording, so I don't think that's gonna be an issue. But yeah, I think there he is.
It looks like that recording might have paused. It's still actively recording now, but it might have paused in the middle of it there.
Oh well.
I don't think you missed anything.
Yeah, I was just rambling.
Okay.
I'm just checking to see if it says anything.
Alien.
All right.
Good movie.
Yes. While he does that, I guess I'll pull up our list for the, which I know Colby
as a heads up mentioned. For when I go to edit this, there might be a slight jump in the middle of it somewhere, and it looked like it stopped recording for half a second and then jumped back in. So if it's weird for anybody that's watching, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, we're not professionals, so we're not gonna fix it.
Exactly.
Just deal with it.
Yeah.
Lunch is canceled due to a lack of hustle. Just deal with it.
Can't have your
Anybody?
meat.
Heavyweight? Anybody?
That made me think of another brick in the wall. You can't have your pudding until you have your meat.
Oh,
What about our very important
I was
segment?
just gonna say.
That's what I was
we
gonna say,
forgot to do
yeah.
that.
Yep.
So what Lego sets would you make from Alien?
Well, a lot. There's a lot you can do. There's a lot more with this than you could do with Taxi
specifically in
Driver. I also have two specifically in mind.
I think the easy one is definitely an alien bust.
So
Yep.
that was one of mine. I was gonna say an alien
That was
bust.
also one of mine, and the other one was for me was the spaceship.
Yeah, I think those are two obvious ones. Like, because this is one of those franchises that if they were gonna do a set, it would probably be a one-off. It's not gonna be a line of sets. So they're gonna pick something iconic. So it would either be a bust or the ship. And I think realistically, a ship would probably be the thing they would do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, I did a little extra research afterwards, and I went on Amazon and I tried to find if there was any like knockoffs or Mega Blocks that had any sets.
Yeah, I was just checking Reworkable right now.
There is a set from, I don't know what the brand is, and it's kind of hard to see on my phone. But it's like a buildable alien.
Well, that'd be cool.
It looks, yeah.
It's kind of neat. It just looks like one of those buildable figures.
Yeah. Like the General Grievous and stuff.
Yeah, but everything I could find for like knockoff Lego sets, it was all just either a buildable alien or an alien bust, and that was all I could find.
I think it would be cool if they did like a play set of like breakfast room.
Yeah.
Where the
diorama,
chest burster scene happens, and then it could have like a little hallway to like the medical bay where he has like the face hugger on his face.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Like, you could have...
I think it'd be cool if they did like an alien bust, like how they usually put a minifigure with it. If they did like the little one doing the jazz hands.
Jazz hands alien.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty sweet. They could also do like a buildable, like one of those eggs that the face hugger like.
Yeah.
And it could like open at the top, and like the face hugger could like pop up. I'd buy that.
Cool. Any other Lego set suggestions?
There's not. I mean, it's essentially just.
It's very like
it's confined.
Yeah, it's very like there's only a couple different settings in this first movie.
Yeah. If we look at, I'll pull up the list here of our stuff here. Let me just give me 1 second. I don't know what I was going with there. Lost my thought process.
So are we all set on Alien? Should we wrap up here and then?
Just one first. We have our I'm trying to share my screen here.
Oh, you're trying to rank. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, I think I know how this is gonna go.
I think so too.
But still, here we go.
So
okay,
the current number one spot.
Yes, is that Taxi Driver by default.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
Never saw that.
And now we have Alien entering the mix. Now, would anyone like to vote to put Alien above Taxi Driver?
Yeah.
You can't see me, but my hand is being raised.
Same.
Okay.
I would 10 times out of 10 watch Alien again over Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
And
cool,
Taxi Driver is not bad.
No.
It's just Alien is
yeah.
more exciting in my personal.
Alien also seems like the movie that you could get a little bit more from it by rewatching it a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Every time you could pick up something more.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't hurt that there's 8 of them now. So
very true.
No.
Taxi Driver,
right.
A one and done, and that changes things.
Cool. So, I'll just wrap this up right here. If you want to stay tuned, this is a short episode. This might be one of our shortest, if not our shortest episode we've ever done. But if you want to tune into our next episode, we will be going through our Final Fantasy, where we will be drafting movies that we think will do successful in 2025. I don't know if we're also maybe going to do top 10s or not. I feel like those will be. I don't know. Judging by what
I think that'll come with time. We'll do one of those.
Yeah, I think maybe later. I don't know, just a
In a
suggestion.
couple months, maybe.
After that, we will be watching The Thing.
Yes.
Nice.
So yeah,
Is that available anywhere? Do you know? Have you guys looked?
let's check.
Because I'm at the point now where I can go to like a local. I have like a local like called Bull Moose. It's kind of like a
Mhm.
Strawberries back in the day, and you can get like a Blu-ray of a movie for like $5 instead of like renting it. So
Let's see. It says it's available AMC Plus.
so it's not available.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, come on.
I mean, it could be somewhere else, and I'm just missing it right now. But
True.
that's just what Google just told me.
Gotcha. I'll look it up.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I think that wraps up our Alien episode.
Go
So
watch Alien if you've never seen it because it was
Worth it.
freaking
Yeah.
awesome, man.
yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Good cast. Sigourney Weaver's pretty awesome.
She is. She's got a great cameo in Finding Dory too.
Hi, I'm
I'm
Sigourney
Sigourney.
Weaver.
Yeah, it's not a subtle cameo.
No, it's not. But it's a good one. Alrighty.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Bye.
Cool.
See you in 5 minutes.